One of the things about Version is that since it is this kind of DIY arts festival, it kind of represents some of the best aspects of how things are done in Chicago. In Chicago, people can basically do whatever they want if they just have some time and energy. And essentially Version is just about like, let's see how much energy we can muster to produce this kind of annual convergence of artists or activists or educators from around the planet, and try to like show different aspects of the art world, one which is not necessarily influenced by the market, but ones that kind of intersect the academic art worlds, the institutional kind of nonprofit realm, as well as this kind of alt space scene, as well as this general notion of the, you know, do it together, do it yourself spirit that a lot of artists' initiatives are about. In Chicago, obviously, it's like the place with the most independent contemporary art spaces out of any city in the country, and that's a phenomena that's kind of beautiful about this place.
Shelter Course started with a love of Buckminster Fuller and the geodesic dome, and we wanted to do a shelter show, and so that came around the time that Ed started planning Version, so he asked us to do it for Version. And we put out a call for proposals and found a bunch of kids that were interested in actually building objects and shelters. There are a bunch of kids that do like ironwork and sculpture and just object-based work. So we decided to do the shelter show.
To me, just living and working on this project for the past, whatever, 8 years, since it's our eighth year of Version, even though it's called Version 09, the Version 09 represents the iteration of the year, so it's this year's version. To me, it's always this notion of the beauty of what a group of people can do together to create what these platforms could be, to develop and create new ways of engaging with different groups of artists or communities or scenes. It's a way of bringing all these disparate kind of like niche-oriented or interest groups together to collaborate and to also see beyond what they're doing themselves.
The nicest thing I think is that we meet like every Sunday and Tuesday also, and that everyone's invited. Anyone can come and propose anything they want, and if they want to do it, that's it. They can do it. Most everything, yeah. Some things we get some proposals that don't fit, or they're just repurposed things they've already done, and it's just like we kind of just don't respond. But it's this nice big group of people working together rather than just a couple of people leading. For me, like what I see every year is like this amazing energy of 10 days or 2 weeks, whatever, however the fest runs, of all of these people throughout the entire city coming together and just doing it with little budget, like what we talked about, and just getting things done, and everyone shows up. And it's amazing. There's music, there's performance, actual like art, painting, everything. And it's just everyone's on fire for such a long period of time. It's really nice every year.
Yeah, it's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
But over time, you know, we've been able to work out the kinks. We've been able to experiment with formats to know which doesn't work, and which doesn't work means is it will no one come to an event, or will this type of thing play, or can we afford to do X, Y, or Z? And no matter what, it always works out. No matter what we plan, it kind of gets realized, only because it can be. Well, everything to me sounds pretty awesome. There's going to be a pedway tour in the underground pedway system downtown by a person named Hugh Min. That's going to be totally surreal. It starts in the bowels of the pedway, underground pedway, and you wind up on the 47th floor of the Swiss Hotel. The Info Expo, our experimental trade fair for art and radical communication, is always one of my favorite platforms. It's this mini art fair, science fair thingy. The WPA program of public art is going to be great. The group show here is going to be awesome. There's a Chicago Art Parade. It'll be the first art parade, official art parade in Chicago that'll travel around the West Loop area on May 2nd. Performance programs are good. The video programs are awesome. The music programs are great. I mean, really, this always happens. We always think the next year's version is going to be better than the one before. And just based on what I've seen so far, if everything gets realized the way it's written down, it's going to be kind of fucking awesome. It's going to be totally worth all the time. And it's totally going to be kick-ass. So the best bet is to show up on the first weekend for sure. And if you enjoyed what you saw that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it'll continue through the week and some ancillary kind of like not as intense programming, and wind up on the weekend being pretty intense. There's also a group of people in Hyde Park at the experimental station creating an analog arcade, people making giant arcades. I mean, there's just way too much to enjoy, actually. So theoretically, if you really wanted to, you could enjoy every single aspect of the festival. It needs, you know, dedicate some time. And that's kind of the way we plan it. Like, if you were here for 10 days, could you see everything? And the answer is yes.